Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. This is episode 331. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, it's not just for entrepreneurs, it's for dream chasers in any field, any industry that has goals and wants to go forward and accomplish their goals and not consider themselves void. Welcome back. It's a snow day here in Chicago once again. We're getting about 8 to 10 more inches of snow. It's a winter storm warning, but in my opinion, it's a winter storm warning right now. We about to win. We're gonna continue to win. As entrepreneurs, as dream chasers, we're in this game because we love it, because we're doing what we love to do, because we're following after our dreams. But at the same time, we gotta make money, right? We live in a world, I say it all the time on this podcast, that's dominated by capitalism. And because capitalism is a real thing, because money has become a real thing by humans, we have to make money to survive. We need shelter to protect us from this wintry cold outside. We need to pay our bills. We need food. We need water. All of these things that, ultimately should be provided for humans, we have to pay for it. We have to make a living. So as a result of all of that, we need money, right? Because we want to survive. But not only do we want to survive, we want to thrive. We want to live in luxury. I do believe everyone should have the opportunity to live in luxury because we all deserve it, right? We deserve to be relaxed. We deserve to have a stress-free mind, free of the constraints of capitalism and money. We deserve to travel the world. We deserve to see nice things and have nice things. Why can't everybody have those things, right? Nonetheless, that is why we are entrepreneurs. That is why we are dream chasers. That is why we are striving after our goals in this world. Because while we are here, we need to make money. I talk about money a lot because money is a nuanced conversation. It's very complex, especially when you're an entrepreneur, especially even more so when you're a Black entrepreneur. It's a very complex topic. I said before on this podcast many times, it's not a crime to want money. It's not a crime to want to be a millionaire. It's not a crime to want to be a billionaire, even though being a billionaire is just very obscene, it's very hoarding like. But nonetheless, it's not a crime to want that if your intentions are good and if you have integrity. If you can get to that level, which is very rare. It's only about 7 to 8 Black billionaires in this world, in the country that is. If you can get to that level, that's great to strive for that and do some good things with that money. But money is a real issue. I talked about that before on this podcast in a previous episode titled The Money Issue. I talked about it on another previous episode titled A Billion Bridges. Money is a real issue. So with all that being said, let me ask you this. And I'm not trying to trigger anybody or, create any negative thoughts from what I'm about to say. So please forgive me. Understand that's not my intentions. But if you can go back to the worst day of your life. Think about the worst day of your life imaginable that you can think of. Then think about the worst year of your life. Then think about the worst period in your life when you were down, when you were low, when you felt like giving it all up. Think about these bad days, these dark periods in your life. Relive them. Think about how you felt in those moments. What would the price be for you to go back to those moments, those dark periods in your life, that bad day, that horrible, horrendous day? It could have been the loss of a relative. It could have been the loss of your home. It could have been whatever it may be. What would be the price for you to go back to these periods? Would it be 100,000, 50,000, 500,000, a million, 10 million, 100 million, a billion? What would the price be for you to go back to those moments and relive those moments, all of that pain and anguish? Ask yourself that. Because see, the reality is the moment you put a price on your pain, money becomes your master. And you cannot serve two masters. Money becomes your master the moment that you relive and put a price on your pain. There is no price on your pain. Understand what I'm trying to tell you right now. The worst days of your life, you will not go back. And there is not an amount of money you can put on it for me personally to go back to relive the worst days of my life, the worst years of my life. You can't pay me enough to go back to that. You know why you can't pay me enough? Because my pain was too great for me to go back, and there's no price to put on my pain. Let me tell you something. The dollar menu Is a fake menu. When you go up to the fast food restaurants, whether it be McDonald's, Burger King, whatever have you, they all have dollar menus. The dollar menu is not worth it in your life. There is no menu of things you can tell me or things you can make me sacrifice for money, because I have integrity and you need to have integrity. You need to have faith. Look, I understand right now in this period in your entrepreneurial journey or your dream chasing journey, you might be struggling. You might be frustrated that you missed an opportunity or you didn't get applied or you didn't get accepted for a grant, because that happened to me recently. I was very upset. I was angry as hell that I didn't get this business grant that I deserved, that I qualified for, that I had all the criteria, and I still didn't get it. But most of the recipients didn't look like me. I'm just keeping it real. They did not look like me. They did not come from backgrounds like me, and I was angry about it. I was pissed off about it. But then I had to realize that there is no price to put on my pain. Yes, it's frustrating that you got denied. Yes, it's frustrating that you still got to fight to get ahead in this capitalistic world to build your business. Yes, it's frustrating that you may have missed a missed opportunity and you left a lot of money on the table. All of this shit is frustrating as hell. Don't get me wrong, but there is no price to put on your pain, because you got to understand something. If you had that opportunity, if you got this far, it's because of your faith. It's because of God. God has brought you this far in the first place, and you cannot think that God brought you this far only to leave you. If he brought you this far, if God brought you this far, he's going to take you further. You have to understand that your faith, the deeper in despair you get, the more frustrated you get, the more disappointed you get, the more depressed you may become, the more closer you have to cling to your faith, because your faith got you through those past battles. When you think about those bad days, when you think about those horrible years, when you think about all these low moments in your life, you are still here in the present moment. You still survived those past battles, and you're going to survive more battles. You have to understand that your faith is going to get you through. You have to understand that money is not your master. There is no price on your pain. Your pain is going to be there. Your feelings are validated. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be disappointed. But at the end of the day, if you had this opportunity, you're going to have another opportunity. If you got out of that hole, you're going to get out of another hole. You are going to continue to go forward, and you are going to continue to strive and reach your goals in entrepreneurship, to reach your goals in dream chasing, whatever that may be in your career. You cannot allow these circumstances created by capitalism to cripple you. Continue to go forward and continue to cling to your faith. The deeper in despair you get, the stronger your soul will become, the stronger your faith will become, the stronger your heart will become, and your mind will prevail. Your mind will get you through all of these. You have to trust yourself. I've been through too many of these situations not to know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a millionaire yet. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I have been through some dark times. I still have screenshots of my bank account being negative $483.15. I have screenshots of my bank account being negative $100, negative $200. I have been to the lowest of lows in this entrepreneurship game. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about, but I got through that then, and I'm going to get through that now. So who cares if I didn't get approved for this grant? Who cares if you don't get approved for this grant? Who cares if you don't get approved for this loan? Who cares if you missed this quote unquote opportunity that could have pushed you forward, that could have eliminated some debt, that could have made some breathing room for yourself? Who cares if it didn't work out? Because if it didn't work out then, something's going to work out in the future. Because where I am now, I'm in much better situations and circumstances than I was when I had those negative bank accounts. I'm in much better situations than I was in my past. I'm still not where I wanted to be. I just said that I'm still not a millionaire, but I'm still winning. It's a winter storm warning outside of Chicago right now, but it's a winter storm warning right now in your situation and in your journey. You have to trust your faith. You have to trust God. And most importantly, you got to trust yourself. You have to believe that you have everything internally to accomplish everything you want externally. So there is no price on your pain. Your pain is simply that. It's your pain. There's no price on it. You can't pay me $500,000. You can't pay me $1 million. You can't pay me $1 billion to go back to where I came from. You just can't do it. And that's real talk. That's no cap, as the youngest say. That's real talk. You can't pay me enough to go back there, because my value is not tied to money. My value is tied to my character. Your value is tied to your character. Your value is tied to your integrity. It's not what's in your bank account. That's real talk. Whether it's negative 400, negative 500, or whether it's 5 million, your value is not tied to your bank account. Your value is tied to how you operate in business and in your life and how you treat other people. That's why I said earlier in this episode, it's not a crime if you want $1 million. It's not a crime if you want $1 billion. It's a crime if you get all that money and you forget about people that's in the back. If you forget about people that's in the same circumstances where you came from. It is our duty as humans, as good people, As entrepreneurs, as dream chasers, to create opportunities for others. Life is already hard, so we have to do a duty to and a service to humanity to make life a little bit easier for others. Donate to others, give back to others, give them the opportunities, be a blessing to others because you got here because it was a blessing from God. So that's my message this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality. The moment you put a price on your pain, money becomes your master. You can't serve two masters. It's impossible. So you have to choose. Will money be your master, or will your faith be your master? Will you continue to follow your faith? Will you continue to follow your gut and your intuition? Will you continue to do the right thing and trust yourself and keep going no matter how hard it may be? I get it. It's easier said than done. But a practical way to get over how you feeling right now is to think about those bad days, to think about those bad years, to think about that dark period in your life. And understand that you're not in that period anymore. And if you are in a similar period right now, you will realize that life is all about peaks and valleys. You was at a peak, but right now you're in a valley, and it's okay. It's okay. Your feelings are validated, but you ain't gonna remain in that valley for too much longer as long as you have breath in your body and as long as you have those ideas in your mind. If this podcast has benefited you in any way, shape, or form, I ask for two things as always. Number one, leave a 5-star review. And number two, pass it on to a friend who may benefit from it as well. Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe. I'll talk to you next week.